Tracy, you can, without further ado, you can further introduce yourself if you have to, but the floor is yours, okay?
Oh, thank you.
All right.
Wow, I am really excited about being here on today. After getting a warm invitation from Roderick, I had an invitation to visit his church on this past Sunday. And what an awesome experience.
Yes.
And tell your pastor I love that suit he was wearing. It's feel wonderful being here always at Common Ground. And as I was at the church on Sunday, I looked around in different areas and I saw different people from Common Ground, and it was just wonderful to be present at that event. And also, each time I come to Common Ground, I'm always touched, I'm always inspired, I'm always leaving with something better and greater than the way that I was when I left. It is something about the interaction and getting to know each one of you that makes a difference in my life personally. The conversations and your sharings, it really means a lot as far as life is concerned. And today I sort of want to focus on this thing called life. And something about this thing called life, when we come to understand what it is, it changes our lives forever. And this thing called life is all grounded in this word faith, which is the theme that we are using for this month. Now, when I come to Common Ground, I am on common ground. And that being said, we share some of the same interests, we share some of the same concerns, we share some of the same things with reference to life itself and enjoying the journey as we go to and fro as far as life is concerned. But this thing called life, a lot of folks go through it and never experience it. The reason why they don't experience it is because they go from day to day and they have not found that something that drives life and makes it exciting and more exciting day by day. So as I listen to these words that were shared and you introducing yourself, I was very touched by hearing each one of you share what you were feeling deep down inside. It is what you are feeling deep down inside that makes the difference as far as your life is concerned. Why? Because what you are feeling is going to be your experience. Wow. What you are feeling inside is going to be your experience. So that when we use these words that have been shared with us, each one of these words give us a different type of experience. When we introduced ourselves, some said, I'm cheerful, I'm excited, I am whatever. Do we believe what we said?
Yes. Yes.
Yes.
Absolutely. So in other words, the first step in this thing called faith is believing what we're feeling. Believing what we say. Believing, taking into account whatever, from wherever source that we get information that we can believe. Now, I have been watching all of the programs from Common Ground through video as presented on Facebook, and I really enjoy it. Each one of them over the last month. What I want to do on today is to make a few general comments about faith, and then open up the floor so that each one of us can share in this great discussion of faith. And I want to entitle it as Faith and Divine infinite intelligence. Faith and divine infinite intelligence. It is this divine infinite intelligence that's added to faith that allows us to have a different type of experience with life. And that's exactly what we want. I like what James said. I don't like to do things into 3 or 4 days in a row the same thing. I like to change it up. And that's that having that different type of experience. So let me make my general comments and then we will open up. I've written on this subject called faith in about 10 or 12 of my 24 books. I've dealt with at night this thing called faith. And what does it mean in order to lift us up from where we are to where we want to be? So there have been many midnight experiences that I've had. And I wanted to write about it at the time in which I was having the experience so that I could begin to share with others. Comments that I'm going to make on today are excerpts from my book, Life Transformation Through Faith. Life Transformation Through Faith, or Transforming Life Through Faith. And here's the first comment. We live in a spiritual universe, and everything in it and around it is spiritual. I want you to look around the room and let that resonate with you and marinate. We live in a spiritual universe, and everything that's in it and around it is spiritual. Someone said, I feel spirited. I forgot who that was. Okay, wonderful. All right, so we live in the spiritual universe. Now look around the room. We live in a spiritual universe, and everything that's in it and around it is spiritual. So as I look at each one of you, I feel that spirit flowing from each one of you because we live in the same universe. The chairs, the floor, our eyes, our faces, all are a part of that spiritual universe. And I go a step further and say we are attracted to everyone and everything in the universe. When I walked in the room, I realized that I was attracted to each one of you. And I enjoyed the moment of sharing that attraction. That's a part of faith as I walk through and experience each one of you and you experience me. So it's everyone, it's everything in the universe we are attracted to. Now that requires us to be to change our attitude about how we see people and how we see the things that are around us. We are attracted to it. The third statement is that we have access. This is very important. We have access to infinite possibilities for our lives that can move us from success to greater success. This is awesome. We're in this spiritual universe. Different from this where we are just walking and don't have anything on our mind. We may not have these greater thoughts on our minds. But when we're in this spiritual universe, we begin to think about higher things, greater things. And not only do we think about them, we begin to move to a point where we know that they are ours, that we can experience them, that they become our reality. So there are infinite possibilities today, right here, right now, that are available to each one of us, and we can experience it, and it is ours. Now, what are our limitations? We can have as much of it as we can comprehend, feel, and believe. Wow. You got all of this that's available to us. But now, the limitation is on us. How we think, how we feel, how open are we to receive all of these great things that are available to us. If we have closed the door on them, then we can't experience it. But if we open the door of our minds and receive, make room for it, it becomes our own experiences. It was these nights that I was writing that I began to think about those desires and those things. All of them came to me. I experienced all of them. Today, all over the world, I have people from different parts of the world that I'm interacting with on a daily basis and giving them directions, and sometimes they're coming back and forward in terms of questions and answers and things. These come from Africa, they come from Asia, they come from Australia, they come from the United States. All of these is some of the things that I desire. So I'm opening up the doors right now for this conversation. So then, what is this thing called faith? Faith is confidence and assurance that you can have all that you can comprehend, feel, and believe in the spiritual universe. And I add to it, without doubt. If we can eliminate that doubt, we can have it all that we can comprehend, all that we can desire. And this final part before I open it up, it is God's greatest pleasure to give you all that you can comprehend, feel, believe through faith, and without doubt. It is His greatest pleasure to give it to you. It's already available. But how open are we to open our minds and open our hearts and just believe without doubt that it is ours? So I open the floor at this point and ask you to reflect on your own life in terms of where you are now, where you want to go, and do you really believe that through faith that you can get there when we know that God has already said and that He has already made it clear that it is His pleasure, greatest pleasure, to give you all that you can comprehend, feel, and believe through true faith without doubt, as long as it helps others in the universe. It can't be selfish. We have to reach out and help others. So I open the floor now and ask you to share in terms of your own life, in terms of your own experiences, in terms of your dreams, your desires, your discernments, the clues that you are receiving, the feelings, the foresights, the impulses, the inklings that you're receiving. Where are you being directed to, and what do you believe is your next step, and do you believe in this spiritual universe that you can get there through comprehending it, feeling it, and believing it? Yes.
We live in a moral universe as well as a spiritual universe.
Yes.
It's just not only spiritual, it's moral.
Yes.
And the reason we don't were able just to get there just like that is because we are in the flesh. And if we wasn't in the flesh, we would be able to get there like that. So since we can't get there like that, we have to have a relationship with God so He can remove all the obstacles in our way. And the only way we'll be able to get there is by having a relationship with Him.
Okay, let me just respond to that before I go to the next person. In that, I forgot, tell me your name again. Dwayne. You introduced a little doubt into it. All of what you've said was very good, but you introduced a level of doubt into it, which made it a point where you could not get there. Now, when we think about the moral aspect of the world, however we see the world, that is the world for us. Moral can be a part of the spiritual aspects of the universe. But when we begin to see and feel this God working with us and remembering this statement that it is God's greatest pleasure to give you all that you can comprehend. He has all. feel and believe through true faith and without doubt. What I had to go through, I'm talking about Leroy, what I had to go through was to eliminate that doubt. And I'm going to tell you who I work with every day on it. My mother. My mother says, I said, well, Mama, you can. God done made a way for you. Can you accept that? We have a big conversation with my mother. She said, well, but you know, I don't know, I'm almost turning 90 now. I said, now you can have another good 10 or 15 years or whatever. Mama, don't introduce the level of doubt in it. Just believe it. And that's where faith comes in, by the way. How can we take out all of the limitations that we humanly introduce into it and begin to experience something that's called true faith? To understand who this is, God. To understand that He has everything and that He wants us to be happy. He doesn't want us to be sad. He doesn't want us to be all down and out. He wants to have it. Listen, I didn't mean to make all those comments, but thank you for sharing that. And I really go ahead, my dear.
Good morning, I'm Cheryl. You know, I had dreams, faith, going to college, becoming a lawyer, model. Then there was the drugs and the strip clubs and things. So I had all these dreams that I wanted to do, but seeing my friends doing certain things, I want to do this, what they doing. And it looked more fun than going to school and stuff. So with the drugs came the overdose. With the overdose came two more behind it. I lost faith in everything. I didn't think I had a higher power that loved me. I didn't think nobody cared. Almost 9 years ago, I had my spiritual awakening in a jail cell. I overdosed in Fulton County Jail because I didn't want the officers to search me because I had dope in my mouth. And I swallowed it. They was letting me die. It took other inmates to force milk in my throat so I could try to break myself too. I saw, during that spiritual awakening, I saw myself, my spirit standing over my dead body.
Wow.
That's something I don't want to relive ever again. To this day, my faith has become more determined. I got stuff that I'm trying to accomplish besides being the CPS. So I know there's a God, and I know He loves me. Then I can hear the negative self-talk sometimes. Maybe you don't need to do, you can't do this. The stuff that I used to hear when I was growing up, the negative talk from your parents and stuff. You ain't blank blank, and you ain't gonna be blank blank, and all this stuff. You can't do this, you can't do that. So I thought that was my belief. I can't do this, I can't go to college, I can't become a lawyer, I can't be a model, I can't do this. That took a big toll on me. So today, my faith is more higher because I'm advocating for other people in mental health. I advocate for myself. I wrote a petition in here last week, and I pushed it through to make changes at this community that I go to, this mental health facility that I go through. I pushed it through, and it's starting to happen. They actually talked to me, and that actually worked. And that's a blessing for me. I talked with the guy that was here last week. He helped me change some of the words I had on the paper and helped me get it through, and I got it through. So I'm doing positive things now. I speak to people. I even help officers understand people that have been through drug addiction and mental health. You know, that's my faith.
Yes, and that's a
true faith, and that's my determination that I'm going to start doing the steps to become a certified peer specialist to help others. You know, that's my goal, because ever since I was homeless, I did drugs. I slept in the streets, jumped in and out of cars, even ate out of trash cans.
Yes.
You know,
And
I want to see other people try to succeed. I've been dreaming of having this big old empty church and just putting homeless people there. Just so they won't be in the streets cold like I was. I was frozen to death one year.
Tell me your name again.
Cheryl.
Cheryl. Let me just say something with Cheryl. Cheryl demonstrated the life transformation through faith. When she was on her journey out there with those experiences that were not so good, she made a choice for that because she, as you said, saw some others and looked like it was
It
looking good on that
was
side.
fun. Going to the strip club, making all this money.
Absolutely.
All these guys putting money out, making it rain. Oh, I'm having fun now. All them $1,000 in my head. Oh, forget college.
Yeah, but this real life comes
And it shows out.
when you can sit all of that aside in terms of what others are saying and have your own true experience. Let me read this statement and then you can go ahead and enjoy. I appreciate the comment. But when God calls us out from our comfort zone, and that's what it is, comfort zone, and send us to new places, sometimes you have to get away from those friends.
That's right.
Listen, I hate to say it, but sometimes you have to get away from your parents.
Yep, that
If
too.
your parents are giving you these negative vibrations and these negative words, or sometimes even siblings, whoever that's giving that negative, you need to separate yourself from it so that you can have a true experience from the inside in terms of who you are. But when God calls us out from our comfort zone and send us to new places of assignment, many times we have to leave people and things that we love. We must obey God and go. Those better places are better states where God wants us to be, or where we will receive infinite growth and find our life purpose. Sometimes it's hard to separate from all these things that we felt so comfortable with.
That's right.
But sometimes we just have to make that decision to go on. I remember when I was leaving Memphis, that was my comfort zone. That was what, all the people, Mama and all of them. And that night in 1985, Mama cried like crazy. I was at church. I had just been ordained as a minister. And the next day, I was on my way to another state with my family. And Mama cried. But I had to look beyond the cry and understand that it was her love. But at the same time, I could not allow it to hold me back.
Amen.
And now she's reached almost 90. And guess what her request is now? Oh, please don't move to Africa until I die. I said, but Mama, you could live much longer than me. She said, how you? And I just want you to be here for my funeral, Lord. I said, Mama, I'll come back for your funeral. What I'm trying to say is these people who love us are sometimes saying, oh, please. And sometimes it denies us the opportunity
That's right.
to find out exactly who we are. But without doubt, we love them. We believe that these new things are possible for us. And we walk within it. So what I want to ask again, what are these new directions that you're feeling, the vibrations that you're feeling inside? And I want to say to you that without doubt that they can be yours. I'm not trying to be Reverend. I'm just trying to be real. And knowing that this has been my experience and my journey, and that's what has caused me to write these 25 books. Because I was having these experiences and I wanted to write it because I knew that one day I would be in an audience like this and I could open up and I could share my own journey and speak affirmatively and authoritatively based upon my own experience, not what somebody told me. Or anyone else?
I got one more comment.
Yes, go ahead.
I'm glad you're not trying to be Reverend Act because he was a crook. He tried to take every money from everybody that he could get.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I'm glad you said that.
Just to put it out there.
I'm glad you said that because I don't want to dime from anybody. Everywhere I go, I'm always giving. I don't want a dime. I really want
A quarter.
to see. I would not be asking for anyone. I support my own ministry. I support my own ministry from my own pocket. As I travel throughout Africa and everywhere, it comes out of my own pocket. And these schools, if you go on my Facebook page, you'll find that I have a campaign for schools in Africa. But I go out of my own pocket to give. So I want someone else, and thank you for sharing that. I like that.
I just had to say.
Okay, so anyone else, what is this new journey? Yes.
Well, with me, 1985 is when I found that I was positive. And it's been 31 years. And I didn't have faith that I was going to make it to 2016. I thought that I was going to die because people was dropping like flies around me during that time. And they didn't have anything but AZT. And AZT was killing people and stuff. So I just didn't have any faith. And then years went on, and I said, well, just like my mom told me, only God will take you when it's time for you to go. So have faith. And I was like, well, since 2016, I do have faith now that God won't take me until it's time for me to go and all that. So I just thank God for the faith that I have now. Wow. Because of that.
Awesome.
Yes.
Wow.
And now, going from this point forward, obviously it was a very interesting journey after you heard the comments from your mom and others that you can believe that you can move higher. Where you are now, from where you sit now, where do you see yourself with this whole journey of faith between now and let's say 2 or 3 years from now?
I would like to work in billing and coding. I went to school for that. So I'm going to try to do that so I can get off the check. And I have faith that I can do it and stuff. And I got a degree in accounting and diploma in billing and coding. And I just pray to God that I achieve that. And I do know I have to set things in order and all that, which means I have to at least try to make a way in that direction.
What is it that you want to do?
Billing and coding. Billing. And
Billing?
coding. Billing
Yes.
and coding.
And coding, okay.
Yeah.
Have you been able to paint a picture in your mind of you
Doing
billing and coding?
as of this time, no, I haven't. But I'm it's a vision board that you
Yes.
can do, and
Yes.
I plan on doing that. And
The reason why I mention that
yeah,
is that this thing called faith, which is your subject for this month,
yes,
faith takes you away from the generalities of it, and through the picture, it places you there in your mind. And as it's placed there in your mind, then God works with you to make sure as you make it plain, as you make it clear, as you comprehend it more, He is saying that you have made room for it, and now it can come. But a lot of times when we have not made it plain enough, clear enough in our own mind and believing it, but faith says, not only do I talk about it, I can see it, I can feel it, I know. I've gone from believing it to knowing that it's going to happen. That's where that faith takes us over. And I only gave that an example with you because it's for all of us,
yes.
you know, how it becomes. Okay? All right. Next person. Don't be shy. The question is, from where you are now, where do you want to be 3 years down the road, and how do you see yourself, how do you see that happening? So first question is, where are you now? Oh, we talking about faith. You know, this is not a traditional, theoretical, whatever. This is practicality. This is about life. This is about wherever you see it, that is what is going to happen to you. But if you cannot see it, if you cannot comprehend it, it will not happen. Yes.
Yeah, I have something to say about what you said earlier.
Yes.
A lot of times, you know what I'm saying, we all have dreams. And a lot of times our dreams be like deterred from the direction that we want to go. And a lot of times, you know what I'm saying, like you said, that if it visualize it in your mind and you think about it, sometimes those dreams and those things that you visualize yourself doing it, thing, sometimes it manifests into becoming a reality.
Sure.
You know what I'm saying? Because when I was in high school, I always dreamed and had dreams of becoming a lawyer, a doctor, or even a counselor, and stuff like that. And so I took steps towards that when I got to college or whatever. I took steps towards becoming a doctor. And I guess it really wasn't for me, you know what I'm saying, becoming a doctor, because, you know what I'm saying, when I started taking the courses to become a doctor, I like had a change of heart and a change of mind of becoming a doctor. So then I went to, then I started going to law school.
Yes.
And so that was, you know what I'm saying, it was okay, but, you know what I'm saying, and then I also started going to psychology. I took psychology courses.
Sure.
And I changed my major from that. And now I'm in counseling and social work. And so that's where I graduated and I got my degree in social work and counseling. And so now I'm in the aspects of the medical field and social work field because I'm a medical case manager.
Yes.
So I'm in both. So.
Well, that's an awesome journey that you have taken. And along the way, I just have one quick question. I'm an old dean, I'm an old provost at the university, and I'm an old president at the university, and I talk with students every day. And as a matter of fact, I'm counseling presidents of universities right now on Tuesdays and Thursdays. So I want to ask you a question with reference to the changing over from the medical aspect, which I produced many doctors, to the lawyers and others. What was going on in your mind that caused that change?
I really don't know. You know what I'm saying? A lot of things, you know what I'm saying, was, I don't know. I guess it had to deal with my childhood or whatever, because, you know what I'm saying, I was hearing like things I couldn't be this. Yeah. I couldn't do this.
Yeah.
Because, you know what I'm saying, people, I never did this and never be that or like that. And so I guess that kind of like manifested and stuck to me. And so, and it was later it became a motivation, but at first it became, you know what I'm saying, a letdown.
Yes.
Like that. And so I ended up driving off of that. And I guess the reason why I changed different majors is because I guess that wasn't my dream anymore. You know what I'm saying? I didn't. You know, I feel like it didn't fit.
I know.
Yeah.
And let me tell you what I'm hearing. You changed the picture.
Mm-hmm.
You changed the picture in your mind. That picture was no longer the picture for you.
Right.
But when you finally got the picture clear, when you finally comprehended exactly who you are and where you were going, then it all became clear. That's all that I'm talking about in terms of this thing called faith. And this is all of my writings and all of this since age 55. All of these books came once I turned 55. I'm 64 now. 9 years of working with this. This is the first year of actually engaging full force and teaching all of these things that I learned. They don't come from a textbook. They don't come from anything like that. It came from the real reality of life in terms of how I saw life flow.
Right.
I've had many experiences with professors that were in their own respective areas. And of course, I'm a chemist by training. But when I began to talk about these people that are African American studies and things of that sort, they said, well, what area did you say you were in? Well, what happened was that the picture kept becoming clearer and clearer. And so I appreciate you for sharing that, and I want to point that out as something that you have found where you are, and now where you want to go from there.
I don't know.
Because we never stop.
I'm still trying to figure that picture out.
Okay? Okay, well, it's going to come as long as you get forced on. Someone else, please share with us in terms of you, where you are now, where you want to go, and how do you feel about getting there?
Al,
Yes.
good morning, family.
Good
You're
morning.
gonna have to kind of bear with me. I'm not in the greatest of health. Right now, where I'm at, I'm in the hospice care. 5 years ago, I discovered that I have cancer. And I think one of the most beautiful journeys that I've experienced of having this cancer is to be self-reliant. As I said, take care of your body.
Yes.
I was amazed by loosening my legs, what a difference it makes. So I'm quite optimistic, so I don't have much longer. And it's dicey, but where I would like to go is to find more inner peace and joy within myself. Because I am very content. I was in a lot of pain. I have cancer also all over my body. And just for greater peace. That's what I would like to obtain.
Sure. And Alvin, I just want